Hey guys, Nostalgic Dan 1 again here, and I'm here with another recent pickups video. Yes, I know it hasn't been that long, but I got a lot of stuff actually, and I'm gonna get started. Okay, first up we have, if you saw my first mystery unboxing a new system, I picked up a Neo Geo Pocket Color, awesome handheld. It's a cool little handheld with a nice library of games for it. Awesome, the buttons feel great. I love the arcade stick, can't get enough of it. And you saw a couple of games I got 3 games with it. SNK vs Capcom Master of the Millennium, which is an awesome game for the system. It's a must-have, definitely. It's got so much modes in here, it's like insane. It's more in-depth than some of the fighters coming out today. There's like even mini games where one of them's like a music rhythm game, which is fun, and one of them's like an arcade shooter. So really enjoying this. I've been playing it quite a bit, so I love this. And next we got Puzzle Link 2, which is a fun puzzle game for the system. Very simplistic. You'll pick up on the concept right away, but it's actually really fun. I'm really enjoying this. The music is really good too, and the presentation is really cutesy and really nice, so I like it. And of course, the classic Pac-Man. Pretty self-explanatory. It's a classic. Feels good on the Neo Geo Pocket with the arcade stick. So classic. And I picked up 3 games besides those, which you guys haven't seen yet. First, we got Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventure, which is a great little version of Sonic here, and you can go back and replay different worlds and modes, and it's actually really nice looking and really fun, a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. So cool little Sonic game. And next we have an action game, and that is Dark Arms Beast Buster. And this is like a top-down kind of shooter. It's an action game, and you go around to these different environments and shoot these like undead creatures and try and solve some environmental puzzles. Really interesting concept. I haven't played a whole lot of it, but from what I played, I liked it and I thoroughly enjoyed myself, so definitely want to try and play some more of this. And next we have a really interesting game, and it's actually a tactical strategy RPG, and that is Baselli for the Neo Geo Pocket Color. This is actually a tactical strategy RPG involving mechs, and you give them orders like forward, left, back, right, and you can do multiple attacks, and you can change your weapons, you can change your like mech suit and everything. Actually really extremely in-depth for like a little handheld tactic RPG. And I actually really enjoyed what I played so far, so definitely want to try and play some. And next we got some handheld games that I picked off Lukey Games, and these are a couple of Game Boy Advance games and some Game Boy games. I'm going to start off with the Game Boy games. I have 2 here. First we have Boxel, which is an interesting like pushing box kind of puzzle game. Like it's kind of simple top down, and you push blocks in certain patterns to be able to get them to the goal. I'm pretty sure you've seen a game like this before. It's a common puzzle type, and it's enjoyable from what I played. I played a few puzzles and enjoyed myself, so Boxel. And next we have a really interesting fun game. I actually played a bit of this, and that is Motocross Maniacs for the Game Boy. It's almost like an Excitebike meets like Trials. So like, yeah, it kind of sounds like Excitebike, like the controls of it feel Excitebike-like. But basically you try to do these stunts like a Trials course, so you do like these crazy loops and jumps, and you try and get to the goal. So if you play like Trials HD, kind of similar to that, but you know, a lot more 8-bit, but it's really fun. I actually really liked it. The controls handle nice. So really. And next we have 3 Game Boy Advance games. First we have an Atlas published title. I haven't tried it out yet, but that is Battle Beat 'em Up. Here's a game I was thoroughly surprised how much I played it and how much I enjoyed this game. And that is Super Dodgeball Advance, another Atlas published title. And these are really common sports games. You see a lot of these. They kind of have like a River City Ransom kind of look to them. I know there's another Dodgeball one on the DS called Dodgeball Brawlers, which was published by Atheist. And there's like a River City Ransom Sports like compilation mix on the DS, but this is actually really quality, really fun sports game, really fun dodgeball, very, very arcadey. You pick different teams and you can do like lob passes and set them up, and there's really over-the-top moves. And really in-depth, really interesting, a lot of fun to be had here. I've been playing this quite a bit actually, so I love Super Dodgeball Advance. And next we have an interesting game that I looked it up and I was kind of surprised, but it looked really interesting to me, and that is Yu Yu Hakusho Tournament Tactics for the Game Boy Advance. Now I know Yu Yu Hakusho is like, I never really watched it or anything, and I don't really know anything about this, but the reason I wanted this is because I looked it up and it's actually a tactical strategy RPG where it involves like a grid system and all that. And so I played a bit of it, and it's actually pretty good, and pretty solid. A typical tactic RPG, you move around, and the characters all have really like over-the-top, really interesting moves which cover like a wide range of the field, so that's really interesting. So standard tactic RPG, I actually like the visual style of it, it's presented really nicely, so this is actually pretty solid. Next we have some cartridges, and Genesis, Super Nintendo 64, and actually quite a few. These are some retro shmups. So first, we have a classic shmup on the Genesis, and that is Biohazard Battle for the Genesis. Really, really interesting shooter. It's got a really interesting style, and it's like involving, you know, these kind of alien insect, kind of mutant, and like bugs. It's really, really interesting concept with all the enemies, and a really nice game. It's a fair shooter, so you do get to continue. You get a plentiful amount of continues, so you can definitely try and make it through the game. Really awesome for what I played. I really enjoyed it. It's really interesting. It's not necessarily horizontal or vertical. It's kind of like isometric. You move in a diagonal. Really cool. I love what I played of it so far. And here's another classic for the Genesis, and that is Super Thunderblade for the Genesis. And this is it's very similar to another Sega game, and that's Space Harrier. So this is very, very similar to Space Harrier. It's pretty much Space Harrier with like a helicopter. So if you can imagine that, where you have like this mode 7 kind of like simulated 3D going down, and you just move your like helicopter around in like different areas and you just shoot. So very, very, very similar to Space Harrier. But after a while it actually changes up like the style of it, and like one time it switches to like a top-down vertical shooter, so it's really interesting. I actually really enjoyed what I played of it. Really Next we have two Super Nintendo shmups actually. First one we have Darius Twin by Tato on the Super Nintendo. And this is actually really challenging shmup. It's probably the most challenging one out of the bunch I got. It's really nice style. You can select different shots and whatnot. Standard like horizontal scrolling shooter. Really good, but really, really challenging. I died a lot, and it's not really forgiving. It doesn't give you any continues, so it's one of those where you kind of got to learn the patterns and learn the levels in order to really progress far in the game. So definitely want to try and play some more of this. But this one I actually played quite a bit of, and I love this game. Gradius 3 on the Super Nintendo. Awesome, awesome shmup by Konami here. Awesome, it's a horizontal game, but it's really, really high quality. You can select different ship setups. The enemies are really cool. The level design is really interesting. Really quality, and it's a lot fairer shooter. It gives you continues, and I just really enjoyed what I played of this. It's really high quality, so definitely a great shmup by Konami on the Super Nintendo. Gradius. And next we have an N64 game, which I looked up a little bit, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet. But I wanted to pick it up since it is by Rare, and I know Rare makes pretty quality games on the 64. And that is Jet Force Gemini by Rare. I haven't played it yet, but I'm definitely interested in it. It looks like a kind of action game, so definitely want to give it a shot sometime soon. And next we have a PS1 game and a Dreamcast game. First one, I picked this up for really cheap, like $2, and I definitely want to try it out. And that is 4 Wheel Thunder by Midway and from the creators of Hydro Thunder, obviously. That's why I wanted to pick it up, because it was only $2. I know this was going to be quality. And I played it, and it's actually a really awesome racer. Like, they have indoor, outdoor tracks. The controls are really tight, really responsive. You have boosts, and you really have to use your boost to advantage and to be able to compete in this game. It's really interesting variety though in track design. Like, there's like dirt, ice, and the outdoor tracks are really long, whereas the indoor tracks are kind of short, but like almost like motocross like. It feels like that. So that provides some really interesting variety. Visually, the game still looks great. Definitely a must-have racer if you're a fan of racing games on the Dreamcast. Next we have an interesting PlayStation 1 game. I looked it up, and it's really a really early PlayStation 1 game, because it's a long box obviously, but it kind of looks like Sega CD, Sega Saturn-like, but that is Shockwave Assault on the PlayStation 1. In a long box. This is actually 2 discs, so apparently I'm guessing this game's kind of long. But it looks like a really interesting, kind of like really early Sega CD kind of game like that. Where it's like first person, kind of spaceship shooter like that. It's really interesting. I definitely want to check this out. It seems like a really. And next, really quick, we have a modern gen Xbox 360 game, just my only one for this time. And I picked it up because it was super cheap, like $3, $4 or something like that. And I was fresh off playing Virtual Tennis, so I felt like playing this game and trying it out. And that is Sega Superstar Tennis on the 360. This is that compilation pack with the Xbox Live Arcade deal, which isn't bad. I mean, I really tried hard to just find this game by itself, but that's kind of hard to do. But I don't mind, because actually the Xbox Live Arcade pack, I popped it in, and it has 5 games, and granted I already own 3 of the games. I already own Feeding Frenzy, Pac-Man, and Uno. I already own those, but it had Luxor 2 and Boom Boom Rocket, which I haven't played Boom Boom Rocket. I never played it. Similar to Fantavision, so I like Fantavision and want to try that out. But it's like full games for each one, which was interesting. I didn't know that, because you can get achievements and stuff like that. I played Luxor 2, and Luxor 2 is a fun little puzzle game similar to Zuma, where you have these balls that move in a pattern, and you gotta shoot another ball to make 3 similar colors or more disappear. But anyways, back to the main event, and that was Sega Superstar Tennis. And I played it, and I played quite a bit of it actually, and I really enjoyed myself. It felt very similar to Virtual Tennis. The controls were super simple, just a joystick and A button to move. The controls were not as good as Virtual Tennis, not necessarily with the movement. The movement felt very loose and kind of like, it wasn't tight, like you couldn't do like nice turns and all that stuff. But it has nice variety. It has like a kind of similar to Virtual Tennis, like a road circuit tour. You compete and do all these different objectives, like Sonic has like ring collecting on the tennis court, and lots of different variety like that. It's got a nice selection of characters, and the courts are really interesting. Nice attention to detail by Sega with the court design and all the Sega love. And I enjoyed myself. Very, very arcadey, very similar. Not up there with like a Mario Tennis, but not bad actually. I can see myself popping this in every now and then when I'm bored. So Sega Superstar. And next we have something really awesome, which I've been wanting for a long time, very long time, and this was shown in my last mystery unboxing, where it's a mystery unboxing, a very special game. So if you haven't seen that, spoiler, I would go watch that. But I'm so happy they reprinted this. I thought I missed my chance to get this, but that is the homebrew Genesis RPG Pier Solar. Absolutely beautiful presentation from a little small indie company. It has a gorgeous manual, poster, and like sticker sheet. The cartridge is gorgeous. It's like fresh, really fresh. But it's made by Watermelon, and this was a homebrew RPG that's been in the works since 2004. It got released in 2010. It had a first print run where it came with like a Genesis kind of like side here, and I think it came with the soundtrack. I actually like this a lot better than that Genesis one. I think the red was really distracting on the side, and the black complements the actual color. But I'm an artist, so I do color theory and stuff like that, so I'm really picky when it comes to covers and stuff like that. And I think this looks gorgeous. But It is an awesome 16-bit RPG from what I played so far. I played about 3 to 4 hours. I left off from in the Oasis town. I went through that first dungeon, no problem, beat the first boss, no problem, but I heard it gets a lot harder later on. It becomes kind of a grind fest later on, but I don't mind that. It's just, so far, like, it's the quality, it keeps me coming back to it. Absolutely beautiful presentation, the music is awesome. It's just really crazy to think that so much work went into just bringing out a brand new 16-bit RPG. And I'm a huge fan of the 16-bit era. That's like my favorite era, because that's what I grew up on. I love what I played so far. Definitely can't wait to get more into this game. So, Pier Solar is still available at Watermelon's Magical Game Factory. You'll get it right away too. No, once every 45 days. No, no, they're available for instant shipping. So I bought mine. I got mine like a week later. No problem. So awesome. $49 if you want yours now. Definitely, because it's been super rare on eBay, it's been shooting up in price, so definitely if you want it, this is the time to jump on it. They reprint it, it seems like they have plenty of copies, so Pierce. Next we got 2 DS games, and sadly I haven't had a chance to play either one, but they're both interesting titles, especially one I've been wanting for a very long time. First we have an Atlas published DS game, and that is Deep Labyrinth on the DS. This is an interesting looking, like, first-person dungeon crawler. It looks like it looks kind of mediocre, but I'm definitely willing to give it a shot. Published by Atlas, this is only like $5, so I figure I'd pick it up. But this next one, and sadly I haven't had a chance to get around to it. I need to put aside some time to definitely delve into this game. But I was happy to pick it up because they recently reprinted this game. And for a long time, it was a very, very expensive and rare DS game. So I figured I'd buy it before it becomes rare again. So, and I've been wanting it so long, so I'm really happy to finally own this. And that is a brand new copy of 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. If you don't know this is like a really interesting, very interesting graphic novel kind of game, adventure game, point and click like that. But what sets it apart is, hence the M rating. It has very disturbing imagery and writing, and I'm really interested in that. I definitely can't wait to play this. Really interesting concept where you're on this boat and you have like 9 hours to survive, and there's 9 particular doors, so 9 people, and really interesting, really cool. I'm definitely so happy to finally own this in my collection. Can't wait to finally get to play this game. So 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. Next we got 2 PS2 games. We're going to start off with PlayStation 2 game number 100 in my collection, and I had to do big, but I found this and I was shocked at the price and was shocked that it was still available. I found this for $20 and it is really nice condition. And that is the Shin Megami Tensei Persona 3 Deluxe Set, limited edition, for only $20. And it is complete. This outer box shows like some shelfware, but other than that, like the contents of it are like brand new. The game itself was never played. There's not a single scratch on it. The soundtrack was mint. The art book was like never opened because it makes like that popping sound when you open it. So what's really interesting, and I had to buy this for $20 because the game itself, like the standard copy, will go for like that price. So this is the outer sleeve. You take this off, and you have the different variant cover game actually, which is interesting that they did a different variant cover. And that is this like darker cover of Persona 3, which I really like. Black on the side, and it's got this awesome artwork on the back, which is actually in the art book. That's awesome. And then it comes with a very, very in-depth art book, and I'm surprised how in-depth it is. That is the art of Persona 3 art book. And it's actually 50 plus pages, really in-depth. It's got some little write-ups in it, absolutely beautiful artwork. And it comes with the soundtrack in the back. And I'm not going to show too much, but it's just like absolutely beautiful artwork, really well done, extremely high quality. It shows all the locations, all the character art, tons of little concept artwork, which I'd like to see. Very, very happy with this art book. I'm surprised how high quality is. Extremely good, one of the best art books I have. But yeah, Persona 3, sadly haven't had a chance to play Persona 3, but been wanting to get in it. the deluxe set for only 20 bucks. I had to jump. Next, we have PS2 game number 101. And I picked this up for really cheap. It seemed interesting to me. Like, I definitely heard this game before. I wanted to try it out, and that's Castlevania: The Lament of Innocence on the PS2, which is actually a 3D Castlevania game. And it actually looks really high quality. It's different for a Castlevania series, but it seems interesting to me. Very interesting. So Castlevania: Lament of Innocence. Definitely can't wait to try it. And lastly, we have 5 games for a system that just keeps on growing and growing in my collection. And I'm getting to the point now where I'm super satisfied with my PlayStation Portable collection now. Like, it's like 20 plus, and it's amazing titles, a lot of hard to find games on the PSP. And I have 5 more here, so I'm kind of scared to see my PSP collection in a couple of years from now. First, we have a game I haven't tried out. Picked it up for super cheap. I think it was like $5, and that's R-Type Command on the PSP, published by Atlas. And this is interesting. It's not a shooter. It's actually a tactical strategy game set in the R-Type series. So it's like a tactic kind of RPG like that. So that's really interesting. So definitely want to try this out. And that's R-Type Command. And since we're on the subject of Atlas published titles, here's actually a really hard game to find on the PSP, and I found it for a really great price and jumped on it right away because it was the only one available. And that is Atlas's published Class of Heroes on the PSP. And this is actually a dungeon crawler RPG. Very, very similar in the likes of like the Dark Spire or Etrian Odyssey or Wizardry even. And actually, I guess the best comparison, this looks really remarkably similar to like the new Wizardry game, which was published by Exceed on the, I believe, PSN, like a downloadable title. So very similar in that kind of vein, where it's like a dungeon crawler RPG where it's first person and you go down these halls. So, but this has a really cutesy, kind of colorful style. You can do alchemy, and this is like extremely in depth. I think you can like breed. Yeah, it says over 500 character possibilities. So you can create your own heroes. So this is actually a really, really hard game to find on PSP. That's Class of Heroes. And next is a PSP game that's been recommended to me quite a bit from a few people. Actually, it was definitely on my radar once I got a PSP. I had to own it. And that is Exceed's Brave Story New Traveler on the PSP. This interesting cover design. And I heard this is actually really, really nice quality turn-based RPG. I heard it's very simplistic, yet that's not too bad because it's really high quality, it's really fun, something about it is really addicting. And I heard it's really quality turn-based RPG, even though it may be a little simplistic. So, but I definitely been wanting this for quite a while. I'm definitely happy to own Brave Story New Traveler now. And next we have another hard to find PSP game actually. It's part of the Legend of Heroes series, where we have Trails in the Sky. There's an early trilogy on the PSP which was Legend of Heroes. There's 3 games, and then Trails in the Sky is a trilogy. And then there's the Ao Nokaseki futuristic kind of Legend of Heroes trilogy, so it's like almost 9 to plus games of Legend of Heroes. But this was actually the first one in that first trilogy. That is The Legend of Heroes: A Tear of Vermilion on the PSP. I got this for $5, and that was a great buy. I jumped on it right away. So, you know, very similar. I heard, especially with the first trilogy, there were some problems with localization. There was a lot of problems with these early kind of Legend of Heroes games. But I'm definitely willing to give them a shot. I definitely want to play these, and I looked it up, and it looks like standard Legend of Heroes. It looks really great, but I know there's some faults with these early kind of trilogies because they were really bashed critically in reviews. So, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So definitely happy to add this to my collection. Legend of Heroes: A Tear of Vermilion. And lastly, we have a PSP game I've been interested in, and it was super cheap on Amazon, and it was actually the one with the soundtrack CD, so I had to get it. And that is Mimana Ayara Chronicle on the PSP, with the soundtrack. This is that like box set. And it comes with a soundtrack CD. This is only like 15 bucks brand new, so I was interested in the game. Figured I'd buy it before they run out of these like soundtrack CD bundles. The soundtrack is kind of lackluster. I popped it in. There's only like a couple full-length songs, and the rest is like really small sound bites, so it's kind of lacking in the soundtrack department. But I heard this game got really bashed too, but it looks interesting to me. I definitely want to try it. So, Mana Young Chronicles, published by Atheist Games. So definitely want to check it out. And that wraps up this recent pickups. I know it was pretty actually quick since my holiday pickups, but I had a lot of stuff. This is like pretty much everything I bought after holidays for myself. A lot of quality stuff, a lot of games I've been wanting to buy for quite a while. A game I never thought I'd own, Pier. It was definitely an awesome time, but you'll probably see a slowdown from recent pickups for me for a while, because this is the kind of time of year where I like to slow down my purchasing of games. And don't get me wrong, I have a bunch of games pre-ordered, and that's the thing, I have a bunch of like more pricey stuff pre-ordered that comes out in a few months, so I'm definitely interested in picking those up very soon. But that is it. Thank you for watching this recent pickups. I'm glad you stuck it through. I'm sorry for these long pickups, but man, I like to talk about games and give impressions on all the games I buy too. Recent pickups is kind of an excuse for me to talk about some of these games, so definitely thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I've been noticing all the new subscribers. I recently passed 700 subscribers, which, geez, I never thought that would happen. But thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.